All right, we are live with the late night movie chat. Tonight we're going to be doing a live call in. I thought that'd be a lot of fun. People want to call in via via Skype. I have a Skype number people can call in from. And all right, let me just get this particular. And let me tweet that out a bit. 1 second here. Okay. Okay. That's up. That's live. That's good. Let's see if... Yo, what's going on, guys? Yes. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Hopefully things will hold. There's going to be a... Let's see here. I will... Okay. Let me just... Oh, damn it. I'm going to update everything with the Skype number. People can call. Let me find that here. I had that information for some reason. It decided it wanted to. There we go. Where is the Skype number? There we go. Okay, so I thought it'd be kind of fun. We don't have to do that right now. So we're going to have that available. That number is available right now on the thing. And I'll let you guys know when we turn it on. We can give it a few minutes. So let me just make sure that that's up. Okay, cool. So there we go. All right. Now that I'm fully aware of the of what's going on. All right. There we go. Okay, cool beans. It was a bit of a late start tonight. I was going to go a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. So we'll give it a few minutes, and then the live thing will happen very soon. Okay, so let me take a look at the chat. Let me go through here. Blizz, what's going on? Santiago, hello. Phantom Rider, what's going on, my dude? Not too much, man. Just got done putting my kiddo to bed. Hanging out with my 3-day-old daughter, who is pretty cool. Christian, what's going on, buddy? How you been, man? YouTube made great again. Here we go. Garrick, who is worse, Tim Pool or Ian Miles Chong? Well, I know Tim Pool and Ian personally, so I think for me, Ian has done some things that he felt he needed to do, and I don't agree with. And he's made some actions that I don't agree with, whereas Tim Pool has just said things I disagree with. So I'm gonna have to go probably with Ian. Let's see here. Who's seen Machete save a kid from a car? I've not seen that one. You want to talk about the Home Alone remake? Sure. Is it 3 a.m. where you are, man? I'm sorry. I know I'm on the West Coast. It's a real motherfucker. It is a real motherfucker to be out here on the West Coast, doing the West Coast. I want to do an earlier show. Like I do. I would love to do an earlier show. That's like, just kind of an informal thing would be great. Maybe get a co-host eventually and make it all about the conversation. That's what I would like to do. I think that would be fantastic. But that's got to get, to do that, that got to be to be fair, to do that, I got to make a lot more fucking money. Let's see here. Do I ever think we'll see an overpowered Hulk in the MCU? Probably not, because they can't really have anything be overpowered, because then it takes away the humanity. Do I think the Lego movies are done? Yeah, I do. Let's see. Diane Kruger or Charlize Theron? Ooh. Charlize, though, is always, man, ever since The Devil's Advocate back in 96. Don't get me wrong, though. Diane Kruger, National Treasure, 2001. Or 2003, sorry. But Charlize, man, she says she has trouble dating If I were a single man living in Los Angeles with a much better body, I'd make that attempt. Did I see the Tolkien estate put up a woke ban? Phantom. No, I did not see that. Can you DM me a link on Twitter? Let me see that shit. Thoughts on Troy 2004. I enjoyed Wolfgang Petersen's. No, wait, who did Troy? That was Wolfgang Petersen, wasn't it? Yeah. That was. It was Troy. I liked Troy. I did. And the screenplay was by David Benioff. Oh my God. I had no fucking idea. Script was pretty good. The script wasn't bad. I really liked Troy. What was that? There's the last movie Wolfgang Petersen did. Was that the Poseidon? What was it? The Poseidon Adventure? He just did Poseidon. That was just a remake of that. Let's see. What's the last movie he did? No, he did Poseidon in 2006 and then 4 Against the Bank in 2016. Why, he had a 10-year break? Wow. And then he came back with a Relative Unknown. That's crazy, man. That's nuts. I liked him. I like his work. He's good stuff. He a good guy. Let's see here. So where's that at? Okay. I'm going to move that over to the side so I know. Let's see. Thoughts. Okay. Did I hear about Disney tanking Star Wars? No. What? No. Do I think the fandom menace is a hive mind? Yes. Yes, I do. Thoughts on Gladiator? Who doesn't love Gladiator? Osmandius. Are you not entertained? Like, what was that? What was that like at the On My Command, Unleash Hell? Like, that's just a great line. It's a great. Richard Harris as old Caesar was great. Joaquin Phoenix as his character. I forget the character's name is great. Who was the lady? Was it Connie Neal? It wasn't Connie Nielsen, was it? Good stuff. Have I ever seen any Uwe Boll movies? I've seen a lot of Uwe Boll movies. Yes. Let's see here. It was one of the consultants for Lord of the Rings who was talking to a German fan site, started listing off his state's no-go rules. You got to link me to that, man. What do I think on on Fox 2000 making movies on Disney Plus? I think it was an inevitability. Sony's rebooting, adapting Robotech. That should be interesting. YouTube made great again. You can't say that Disney tanking Star Wars and then not give me any context. Saving Private Ryan or Black Hawk Down. It's always going to be Saving Private Ryan. It is. I like Saving Private Ryan a lot. I love Black Hawk Down though, man. Fucking that movie is dope as shit, but it's I prefer the other. Thoughts on Comicsgate? I don't know, man. Like, I understand. I understand. Okay. By the way, if anyone wants to call in, let me know, and I'm going to open it up. You guys can call on the number is in the video description. So there's that. Let's see. Comicsgate. I understand the concept behind it, and I'm for the concept behind it. But it kind of devolved into just a money-making endeavor for a few people. And then now they're kind of bickering, as it was going to always happen. These things always find a way to destroy themselves. Better actor turned director, Mel Gibson or Ben Affleck? Oh, fuck, dude. Gibson, like, come on. Like, okay. For one, as much as I love The Town and as much as I love Argo, and, we got a call coming in. Let's see who this. Turn that down a bit. Who this could be. Hello, you're on the air.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Who is this?
This is Lewis from Los Angeles. I'm calling. I'm calling for love advice.
First time caller, long time listener, right?
It's something like that or reverse. I don't know, either way.
I
But
don't
it's your
know. Oh,
show, so you could
it
tell
is
me.
my show. Yeah, it is my show. So, so there we go, Lewis. For those of you guys at home, Lewis is a friend.
I'm
He
not a
runs.
friend of yours. What are you talking about?
Yeah. We totally didn't go hang out at Comic-Con, and everything else. So what's on your mind? What's on your mind, buddy? What's up? What you want to talk about tonight? What's on
Well,
your
you
mind
know
movie
what,
wise?
man? I just want to congratulate you on the new addition to your family. I know behind the scenes, people don't know what a hard worker and inspiration you are. I'm glad to see people coming on here live and supporting this late night. I know a lot of people are probably asleep, a lot of your audience, but it's very important, before going to sleep to listen to Matt right here. He's got a lot of good insights. One of the hardest working YouTubers I know, and a very fair person, let me tell you. He puts me in check a lot of times, and then after, and I'm pretty hard headed. I'm pretty damn hard headed.
I yell at Lewis a lot, like a lot. Like we'll be talking, and he'll say something, and I'm just like, no, and then I yell at him for a while over it.
I think the biggest debate we've had is that I say, but this I'm still convinced of this. I think Peter Parker in the Spider-Man movies. Spider-Man needs to keep his mask on when he's in public because his identity get exposed. What do you think, Matt?
Okay, so let's put this to the audience because we got 28 people watching right now, which is fucking awesome. So thank you guys so much for being here at midnight.
Only 14 likes. Let's get those likes up and let's get those shares likes up.
There we go. And super chats. Who said that? No, I didn't say that. Damn it, Lewis.
That was
anyway.
Me, super chat.
So the question, the conversation Lewis I got into, is that he was not happy with Spider-Man: Far From Home because Peter Parker spent a lot of time out of the mask, right? A lot of time out of the mask, and it was in public, which I think is a valid complaint. But my counter to that was like the context of him not being in the mask.
Well, here's the deal. I did not like the movie. That it just bugs me to see him, in the middle of New York, talking to Tony Stark, and his mask is off, and I feel like sometimes, I love the actor Tom Holland, but sometimes it just feels like there's something in the contract that says I gotta show my mug, and he's a really hot guy. I'm straight, but every time I look at him, I'm like, man, maybe I should try the other side because he's really hot.
Well, okay. So here's the thing. Here's how that whole thing works. So what you got to realize is that it's so difficult for an actor to emote in a costume, right? It's like
Vader.
super difficult.
Vader
didn't emote in a costume. If Paul Joseph Watson called, then I laughed my ass off. But oh no, there's a comment saying what would happen if Paul Joseph Watson called, then I'd laugh my ass off. But no, these actors emote, right? These actors have to emote. These actors have to their face is why they're paid the millions of dollars that they're paid to be in these movies. And the audience still has to have that human connection in order to be able.
Christian Bale's Batman,
dude. But everyone mocked. Why are you trying to kill me? Right? Like everyone mocked that for years.
But look at this though. Look at this. Yoda has a ridiculous voice, but it's what he says, that makes it awesome. And I think, yeah, Batman may have had like a raspy voice, but his dialogue was awesome. And there was a reason why the voice was like that, is because he was getting his ass kicked. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is,
no, he was trying to be intimidating when he went to the Joker. And he said like, like, why are you trying to kill me? He wasn't getting his ass kicked. He was trying to be intimidating on that front. That's all it was.
But I think that that point his voice wasn't that bad. I think people make fun of the voice later in the movie, right? When he was getting his ass kicked.
No, people make fun of the voice. People make fun of the voice then, And then, of course, there's Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, which is just memeable and has been now for like 7 years, which is just nuts. The thing
Tom
that they,
Tom Hardy, Bane. Where's he from? He's British, right?
yeah, he's British.
So I want to ask the British list, well, not mine, but your British, subscribers here watching and listening. Does that voice sound weird to you? Because maybe it doesn't sound weird to Nolan, because maybe it's an American thing, because that's the way Christian Bale sounds, and
No, Bale just like he tried so hard. But I mean, the thing is, it's iconic in the sense.
yeah,
It's iconic in the sense it's iconic. When he goes like, you merely adopted the doc. I was born in it, molded by it. I mean, like it's. Don't get me wrong. Like I do not hate the voice. I like
yeah.
I like Bane's voice because it's so obscure and you've never heard something like that before. Like, why is it that you would shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane? Like, I mean, like the dialogue was so interesting in that regard because it
Well,
works
I
in
love
like
the
the
line.
sentences.
I love the line is like, no one cared who I was until I put on the mask. That was
Yeah.
awesome. There's
Yeah.
some great moments. I think you should watch that film again.
Runs the
Give it
Phantom
another
says,
shot.
"Stay a while and listen." I haven't done a proper Bane. I mean, like I know South Park memed it. I know a lot of other things memed it. I always enjoyed the memeing. I thought the memeing was a lot of fun.
The Lego
Because
movie, one of the Lego movies,
oh yeah, the Lego Batman.
that was great.
I think if you play
Hey,
the fact
but
that it's a bit of a joke, I think people are going to get a kick out of it.
So what's the biggest topic of the day, you think?
The biggest topic of today. Let me just jump over here to my number one movie news source, the internet. Probably
It's crazy.
game.
You know what should be a big topic, Matt? Is how much fake news there is and no repercussions.
Okay,
to the people that
fine,
spread the
fine.
news.
We'll let you. There's 26 people watching right now, and you guys are going to
Yeah.
get a scoop. You guys are going to get the scoop of all scoops, especially when it comes to clickbait journalism on the interwebs. So, you want me to set it up, or you want to set it up?
Well, okay, I'll give a little bit of it. I don't know if you want to talk about anything specific, but when
It's your
Nuke the
story.
Fridge, when I started Nuke the Fridge, somebody said comic book cast too. Someone knows what I'm talking about. Well, look, when I started Nuke the Fridge, and I got something wrong, people would crucify me for the next 2-3 years, despite if I have the next 70 stories right. They would always bring up that one time I got something wrong. Nowadays, people just make up stuff. They get caught. They get all the views and clicks, and then they move on and make up another thing. They get the same amount of views with no repercussions. And, the other day I got frustrated because, we have conversations outside YouTube. It's like I get frustrated with YouTube's algorithm and how, what people gravitate to. So I decided to make up a story about Mark Hamill being in Crisis on Infinite Earth. That was the title of it, Mark Hamill, The Crisis on Infinite Earth. So at the end of my little interview right there, my little video, I say, hey, look, guys, this is not a real story. It's something I really want to happen, but the title is going to be this because it seems like the only videos that catch traction are the things that are made up. So I was honest with the people who actually listen to it. So this dude, comic book cast, like a little bit after, he repeats exactly my video. Mark Hamill being the Joker in Crisis on Infinite Earth. Then some other website grabs a hold of his story. He gets like 30,000 views, right? And so he just copies the news, doesn't cite anyone, ever. And he's just frustrated. He's a frustrating guy to me because he never cites the sources, but I think he got caught in a little bit of a trap, but that was a case of me making up the news. I don't know if he makes up the news. I think he hears things and then just repeats them, all day. He's like the Mike Zero of all comics, but
well, I would argue that Armin from Comic Book Cast is a bit more realistic than Armin, but I mean, like, okay, like I
Then Mike
have
Zero.
then okay, sorry, then my sure, yeah. I was watching a comic book cast video a while back, and I told you about this where it seemed like it was fake news. It seemed so far fetched.
Yeah.
Um, it was the one about like someone was going around and impersonating Kathleen Kennedy. It was this like it was a in my mind it was a big story, identity theft of a powerful Hollywood CEO, right, or a Hollywood
Yeah.
studio head. Like that's a big fucking deal, and
Yeah.
no one talked about it. And he talked about it, and I thought it was fake because I couldn't find anyone talking about it. Like, but then 3 weeks later or so, a little story pops up confirming it. Just a little outlet talked about it, and then a few weeks ago, I heard it brought up again, and by another outlet, and I'm like, okay, either he made it up or it's real, and like no one ever talked about it. But I mean, people get tips. YouTubers get tips because YouTubers get people paying attention. I mean, look at the guys from what was it, like Midnight's Edge, and Robert Michael Burnett, and who else, whatever. They get
Robert Michael Burnett, like he does get the scoops, but he won't sit there and make. I doubt. I've never seen him make up stories.
yeah,
But I think like with what gets me about comic book cast 2 or whatever is that he doesn't cite his sources. He like, let's say, like, it's very difficult to get a scoop. It's very hard to get a story people will be interested in. Let's say Three Buck Theater breaks the story of the century. George Lucas directing episode 10, whatever, right? And through your hard work, he'll just get on there and say, they are saying that George Lucas, with his stupid voice, is going to direct episode 10, and then it won't cite you. And I feel like, whoever breaks the story, because it's hard to get a story, needs to be credited. It's a ripoff.
well, I mean, yeah, but
500,000.
you know that these people are
subscribers.
never going to actually fucking drop they're not going to drop the actual source. They're not going to give that up. So there's
most journalists, most reporters do. Thank God.
yeah.
It's like, for example, when you do your news, you have the website up, you cite the source, according to whoever it is. And I see most people do that, even if but they still have the source up. And stuff. But that guy, he just hurts me. He needs to cite his sources, man.
You should do that in every one of his videos. Go and comment. Where are your sources?
Well, what I'm going to do is start a channel called podcast.
You're kind of breaking up there. What?
I'm gonna start a channel called Comic Book Cast 3, and just not cite my sources there.
There you go, man. Just do everything he does. But Cuban.
Yeah, Cuban style.
Right? Just be the
everyone.
Cuban comic book cast. That's gonna be your that's your new mantra. That's your new shtick. That's your new thing. All right, man.
My big question. I'm gonna let you go right now
Yeah.
because I'm gonna kick back here and listen to you. But my biggest question is, why the hell are there over almost 30 people watching and only 16 thumbs up? That's not cool. Give Matt the thumbs up. Give Matt the share, and give him a call on Skype. The number is area code 206-734-4312. That's area code 206-734-4312. And talk to them about whatever's on your mind, baby.
Yeah.
Talk to you later, brother.
All right, man. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
I'll see you. Bye. Check out Nuke the Fridge, everyone. Check it out. It's a good website. Lewis is a good dude. He cares a lot about movies. Even if movies don't care about him. No, I kid. I joke. It's all jokes here on the show. So yeah, if you guys want to call on in, next person can call on in. The lines are now open. This ought to be interesting. Let's see. Let me go back through, take a look at some of the comments here. Will there ever be a Star Wars Episode 10? Probably not. I think once they finish the Skywalker saga, DB Weiss and David Benioff are going to absolutely be talking about something else, probably the Old Republic or something entirely new. But they just signed that $200 million deal with Netflix. I'm going to talk about that on a video tomorrow. Let's see here. Who's worse, Ann Coulter or Tommy Lahren? Ann Coulter, because she knows what she's doing. Tommy is just dumb. Let's see here. I don't really. Okay. Let's see. Kevin Smith does a good impersonation of Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. My impersonation is based off of only seeing the movie once and then just loving all the memes. Natalie Portman or Rachel McAdams? I'd like Rachel McAdams as just a better actress, and I think she's also just hotter. I mean, I've always kind of had a thing for Natalie Portman. I mean, what was it? I had a Queen Amidala poster on my wall back in '99. Not even kidding you. After episode 1 came out, I'm like, damn, man. Like, oh yeah, and it was pretty bad. So I had a poster of Queen Amidala on my wall. My stepdad was like, "What the hell is you doing?" Remember, guys, phone lines are open. 206-734-4312. Call on in. Ask your questions. Let's talk about some stuff. Anything goes. But here's a question for you guys. Do you think that Deadpool is going to be PG-13 or are they going to go R-rated? I don't know. Anything could really happen. To put your questions in there. Let's see. Fry Guy Zero asks, do I want to see the new Rambo? Yes. Yes, I do want to see the new Rambo. Really liked it. Leon the Professional or Man on Fire? The Professional for me, 100%. I love Man on Fire. I think Man on Fire is a great movie. But the ending, he should have blown himself up at the ending. He should have. When he's driving away and he died, the car should have fucking blown up. Deadpool will be PG. Phantom, I did see the DM for the Tolkien estate. I need to read the article. I have it up right here. So yeah, there's that. I got to read through it, man. I'll read through it tonight. Probably talk about it tomorrow. That other thing you mentioned in the DMs, that was definitely something new that I had no idea of. I'm not going to bring it up here because it's not my place to bring it up here. But have I ever seen the Jericho TV show? 100%, dude. I was actually part of the Nuts movement from back in 2006. I very much supported it. I watched all the episodes of Jericho when they brought the show back in 2008. And I was really hoping that they would continue it. I understand why they didn't, but I really enjoyed the series. I got to actually work with DB Sweeney on a short film in 2000. Well, that was a web series in 2009. And I had to stop myself from asking him all sorts of Jericho related questions. Let's see. It depends on how hard they push that PG-13 rating. I agree. It's going to be kind of crazy. If they kind of go like the Marvel Netflix show in regards to doing everything outside of saying the F word, I think it'll be okay. Let's see. Best and worst Vin Diesel movie. Best Vin Diesel movie is probably I'm gonna say it's fucking Pitch Black is probably the best Vin Diesel film. The worst Vin Diesel movie is probably Find Me Guilty. Some might argue Der Babynator, which is the German title for The Pacifier, but I actually like that film. So there's that. Let's see. The Pacifier. No. Pacifier is not as bad as you might think. It's pretty fun. Plus, here's the thing when it comes to Riddick. The Escape from Butcher Bay is one of the best games ever. Favorite Liam Neeson action movie? What's that one where he was on the plane? That one I really, really, really liked. But probably, if anything, it's going to be it's Taken. Taken was just so good when it dropped randomly. What was that one he was in? Not The Commuter. What? He's been in a lot of stuff. God damn, he's Nonstop, 2014. Nonstop was a pretty solid movie. And that was from the director Jamie Swale Colette. He also did Unknown, which was another Liam Neeson movie that I didn't think was as good, but I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed Nonstop. I thought it was well done, well made movie. And apparently he's going to be directing. He directed Jungle Cruise, which comes out next year, which should be pretty good. And then he's also going to direct Black Adam, so that should be interesting. He also did Run All Night, which was another Liam Neeson movie, which I thought was pretty good. So he's a good director. He's a solid director. Babylon AD was Vin Diesel's worst movie. That was a pretty bad movie, yeah. Do I know that Alex Jones made a cameo in a Keanu Reeves movie? No. I do know that was that I was that wasn't in which movie was that? Because let's see. I'm bringing up the Alex Jones. Wow, Alex Jones is only 8 years older than me? Dude, he's only 8 years older than me? That's crazy. He looks like, I thought he was in his 50s, man. Okay, let's see here. He was an actor in 4 things. He was in A Scanner Darkly. Are you talking about that one? Oh yeah, there's Keanu Reeves. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I forgot Keanu is in that movie too. Yeah, and I mean, you gotta love Richard Linklater. What's he been up to recently? He's got Richard Linklater is older than fucking Alex Jones, which is just crazy. Let's see. They're doing, wow, holy shit. There was a School of Rock TV series? What the hell? That's new. All right. What's he directing? He's doing a Bill Hicks biopic. That should be interesting. Okay. Well, there's other things. There's got stuff going on. Okay. The Gray was a good movie. The Gray was a solid movie. Runs with Phantoms. I really, really liked it. GC Gaming, no, John Wick is not out yet. It will be out pretty soon. Let's see. Do I like David Ayer films? I do. I do like David Ayer films. Those are fun movies. So let's see here. Okay, if you guys want to call in, there's the number to call in right now. The phone lines are open. Kind of so whatever. I really like David Ayer movies. I always have. I think that there's always some kind of a certain je ne sais quoi to that I thought was always kind of interesting. And he always kind of seems to bring it. I really enjoyed what was that, Fury, the tank movie from World War II with Brad Pitt, Shia, John Bernthal, and Logan Lerner. It was a good movie. It was a solid movie. It was a solid film. End of Watch was great too. I mean, Bright was a really good film. I will be probably alone in this one, but I enjoyed the hell out of Suicide Squad. And I mean, I think James Gunn is going to do better for Suicide Squad 2 than I think David Ayer would. But the dude makes good films, and I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves as a result of that. Yeah, Frega, you can call from a cell phone. You can call from a cell phone. It's open line. JC figured out. Call in, man. Let's see. Best Robin Williams movie. That's a tough one. There's a lot of really good Robin Williams films. Probably, I know it's going to sound maybe like a cop out, but I really liked, Aladdin and Hook. I really like Hook. But The World According to Garp was pretty fantastic. 1 Hour Photo was surprisingly creepy. He was really solid in that. What Dreams May Come. Not the best movie in the world, but he was good in it. He was good. Good Morning Vietnam is fantastic. Mrs. Doubtfire is great. Aladdin is great. Moscow on the Hudson was great. He was in a lot of good shit. What was it? What was the one he was in? Was it the Fisher King He was really solid in that. He was a very talented dramatic actor that didn't get that, you know. Oh no, what's that one? World's Greatest Dad. That one. That's a great film. Let's see here. Who would I cast as Kratos in a God of War movie? Probably Vin Diesel. There's that. Because I think Vin Diesel would be able to fully. I think Vin Diesel is the right body mass and attitude to portray Kratos. Uh-oh, we got a mystery call coming in. Let's see who this is. Hey, how's it going? You're on the air. Who am I talking to?
How's it going? It's Fry Guy.
Hey, what's up, man? Long time. Well, first time talking. I know you've commented before.
No, I talked to you sometime last summer, I believe.
Oh, okay. Is
On
it
the air.
coming in through the Discord?
Yeah. So that was a fun time there. I don't even know what's going on in movies these days. I haven't even seen any much.
There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of not good things.
I mean, I'm kind of wondering if that scary stories to tell in the dark will be any fun.
Well, according to early reviews, because I was actually just looking at that because the embargo just dropped about 2 hours ago. Just looking at headlines, not even looking at anything else. It says that it's actually pretty decent for a PG-13 horror film. But see, I grew up reading, reading those books. And so they were in my elementary school library. You know, we would check them out and read them in class because the 90s were a glorious time. And
yeah, I remember my brother had them sitting around his room, and I looked at them, and I looked at all the pictures, and I'm like, do I really want to read this? So I had them around as a kid, and I knew about them, but I don't remember actually reading any of them.
They were solid. They were creepy as hell. It looks like the movie is going to be telling like a number of the short stories or adapting a number of them to kind of fit this larger narrative, which makes sense. These are scary stories to tell in the dark. They're meant to be short, 5-minute things. So
Right,
running them
'cause
through a
I'm kinda
narrative.
I was kind of thinking something like similar to Are You Afraid of the Dark?
It's you know what? It's not going to be like that because they've done movies like that. There's a movie called Campfire Tales that I would argue is very much like that, where you've got it's like people sitting around a campfire telling like the man with the hook for a hand and those kind of stories. And then you've got like Tales from the Hood, which is kind of similar in that regard, and other movies like that have always kind of played up the anthology aspect of like Twilight Zone the movie. That was a big one. And so this one feels like it's taking those stories and it's tying them into a larger narrative rather than them just being individual pieces, which I think is the better way to do it, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah. So hopefully you can hear me all right. I'm doing it through my car.
I can hear you just fine.
Yeah, just making sure I'm not getting any echo on your voice or whatnot. That's all.
No, I've got headphones on, man. We're good.
All right, just making sure. Yeah.
Don't you know I'm a professional YouTuber who does professional things all the time?
No, I hadn't considered that part.
Yeah.
I've talked to you about your equipment before. You said you've dropped like well over $5,000 for your equipment.
Yeah, I have. My shit costs money, man. Fucking. We're talking about the anthology. Alex Basurto in the chat says like Creepshow, which is true. Creepshow is a good example of that. And I love Creepshow the movie, even though it's the anthology. I love Creepshow.
Yeah, there's like one of those old movies I remember watching. It was like a Steven Spielberg produced one from the 80s. I think it was called Amazing Stories, but I can't remember if that's the right name.
Yeah, Amazing Stories is that. They're bringing that back.
Oh, that would be awesome. I love that
Apple
cartoon
TV.
one, the cartoon wheels.
I never saw that one.
I don't know what it was. I think there was one where it's a World War II setting, and they're flying around like a B-17 bomber during World War II, and the guy in the base of the plane, and they can't get the landing gear running. So he starts drawing cartoon airplane wheels on his drawing of the plane, and then they magically appear until they get him out. So they're able to land the plane, and then they pull him out, and then after they pull him out and wake him up, the wheels disappear, and the plane falls on the ground.
Oh, okay. That's
So I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that was a good one. It had like 4 or 5 short stories from different directors, I think.
nice.
And
I'll
then,
check that
like
one
the other
out.
movie I already asked you about in the chat, but I was like, the new Rambo. I mean, that thing looks good.
Yeah, yeah. I want to. I definitely want to see that one. I loved the one from 2009 or 2008.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
a call that just came in for some reason. I don't know why. It's um. Let's see here.
Well, if you want to switch over, that's good.
Well, no, it's one of those things where it's like I shouldn't have gotten. It should have been like probably. Let's see here. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Multiple calls coming in, but anyway. Yeah, no. If you wanna.
No, I'll keep talking
Okay.
as long as we got something to talk about. I don't care.
There we
Even
go.
if you want to bring in a couple other people to talk.
Well, I don't know how to do that necessarily. It's my first. I haven't messed with Skype and calling in a long time, so that's one of the things. But yeah.
Nate had something good to say about amazing stories down here in the chat.
Let's see. Yeah, Amazing Stories was awesome on live broadcast. Yeah, I know they're going to be. Good night, Dis. Thanks for coming in, man. I know that there's going to be again. Apple TV purchased. Spielberg is bringing back Amazing Stories for Apple TV.
Yeah.
Tales from the Crypt and Black Mirror and other good examples from Garrick here. Those are good films. I haven't. He asked here if I don't know if you've seen it. I haven't seen it. The director's cut of Mimic. Haven't seen that one yet.
No, I didn't even know they had one, to be honest. But I am kind of excited about the Once Upon a Time in Hollywood director's cut. That's coming out to Netflix. I think I heard about that on your
I
channel.
have heard. Yeah. The it's one of it's one of those things where it's like I've heard of it, and I don't know if it's true or not. To be fair, I'm hoping that it's true. But
well, they did it with the Hateful Eight.
True.
It did take two years, but if it comes out, I mean, that's the way I'd like to see it now.
Well, I have a feeling that's going to be like that's going to be what they're going to start doing is putting out these extended cuts on Netflix and other. I think Netflix would be right to start trying to get these extended cuts on their platform, because then that's something new that they can do. You know.
Yeah, that would keep them alive if they did extended cuts of all the movies.
Yeah, I think people would like it.
Extended cut here at Netflix.
So, I mean, I think that's kind of going to be what they're going to have to do in order to stay active. Is if they're not going to, because TV is not going to save them.
No, I don't know what their idea is. Like, all the shows, you get into a show and then they cancel it. And it also, like you were saying, it takes 2 years sometimes to get to the next season.
Well,
I would before they even announce that season, they're like, it's canceled. Why won't you?
I mean, like I did talk about that with the OA, and that it was kind of their own fault because Netflix gave them the freedom. But Netflix in 2016 is far different from Netflix now. So the almost 2.5 years in between the release of the OA season 1 and the OA season 2, even though fans liked it quite a bit, a lot of people out there are just like, no, it's didn't bring enough in. It cost too much money. They probably let it go. So that would be, that's how I view that one.
Well, the one thing I'd like to know is, like, if Netflix had like a view counter, kind of like YouTube, then you would know how good a show is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's an idea that, like, but they don't release any of their data, as far as I know.
Not very often.
I mean,
not very often. They'll talk about it, but even like FX executives have come out and said like their numbers are skewed because they'll sit there and go, "Oh, 40 million people watch this season," but it's like, is that 40 million per episode or 40 million total across 8 episodes?
Right, and that could drop it down to like whatever it is if they watched all 8 episodes 40 million times, and Yeah, it's just like a lot of Netflix stuff nowadays. It just doesn't seem as good as it used to be. Like you try to watch a movie on Netflix, and there's just like, oh, it's just a B-rated movie that was like direct to video back in the day or something.
There's a lot of those. Yeah, there's a lot of those that happen. They need to. I mean, and the thing is, they thought that there was going to be a big thing with like Triple Frontier being, Ben Affleck, Charlie Hunnam, Oscar Isaac, and that ended up not being very good. I mean, Cloverfield Paradox, which I enjoyed well enough, but it was a $50 million movie with Paramount, and Netflix bought it for $40 million. So Paramount didn't lose as much money.
Yeah, that felt like it was shoehorned in somehow.
Oh, it totally was.
I don't know.
I reviewed the Blu-ray for Paramount. They sent me a copy of it, and I watched the behind the scenes. And the behind the scenes was interesting because the cast is talking about the movie, but the cast never mentioned Cloverfield as being a tie-in. So it was one of those things where you can. It was a last-minute addition.
Because all they did was add that last scene at the end, right? And that was
no, it wasn't. No, they added everything on Earth to show to show all that stuff. Yeah, because otherwise it was just kind of like a fish out of water sort of thing.
Yeah, I watched that and I was just like, I don't get it. I sat there the whole movie. I'm just like, why am I watching this? It got so boring after 20 minutes.
I'm as a big Cloverfield fan, I liked it, but it's kind of it's kind of dumb. But hey, man, I think I'm gonna open up for anyone else who wants to call on in.
That sounds good. I'll catch you next time.
But yeah, I appreciate you calling in, and I know you usually come in towards the end, so you got here at a good time tonight.
Yeah, I got lucky. I'll catch you next
All right,
time.
Talk to you later, man. Have a good one. Peace out. Okay, take a look here at some of the comments. All right. Have I seen the director's cut of Mimic? I haven't. I didn't know there was one. I really enjoyed Mimic back in the day. Any thoughts on the prediction that went out by Forbes that AT&T will shut down DC Comics? I mean, if they shut down DC Comics, it's only going to be to push people towards the DC Universe because you can read comics on your TV. And I have to say, I have DC Universe and I've read a bunch of comics on my TV, and I didn't think it would be enjoyable. It's super enjoyable. It's really, really intuitive. So to the other person who called in from the unknown number, feel free to call back. That should be open now, and we'll see. All right. So Green Lantern versus Scarlet Witch, who wins? Probably Green Lantern. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of these characters generally tend to have similar powers. Have I ever seen the Leprechaun movie with Jennifer Aniston? Meaning, have I ever seen just Leprechaun? Because it was the first one. Yes, I have. And I know about her boobies because that's an appearance in the film. A lot of Netflix original movies tend to fizzle out due to lack of marketing, which is true. And that's something I do want to talk about at one point in time, is talk about the lack of marketing on Netflix and everything else. Remember, right now, guys, you guys can shoot a call in with, we got the number to call here. Let me paste that back in the chat. So that number is open for our Skype call. All right. So a lot of, the Netflix problem is a big issue because when it comes to that, they have so much content that they fail to, I think, really kind of like, bring it home, and they don't really care. They just, they have a couple big things, they really heavily market, like, let's say Stranger Things, but other things not so much. And maybe that could be pretty good. I think hopefully one day they'll do that. They'll get better at it. And I think, as I said in my video about that, talk to influencers, talk to YouTubers, man. YouTubers still love talking about movies. They're the ones that are going to be the ones that are going to be heavily promoting it, heavily talking about it. It's not just genre entertainment. People are looking for shit to get into. People are always looking for shit to get into, and they don't always find it because there's not enough people talking about it. Like, I'm not an anime fan. I'm not really big into anime. I kind of started watching the show on Netflix called The Dragon Prince. It's not really anime. It's like Western anime, if I had to be fair. But I asked my sister about it yesterday when she was here. And I'm like, hey, have you seen The Dragon Prince? And she's like, oh my God, that show is so good. And I'm like, yeah, no, I just finished the first season. I really like it. And I watch it with my daughter. And, but the thing is, like, she never talks about that. She never posts on social media that she should watch that shit, like that, or anyone should watch that. So it becomes a pretty big problem. Hey, Emmett, how's it going? The best Bill Murray movie that isn't Ghostbusters, that would be Stripes. Has anyone seen Friday the 13th, the series from 1987, a very similar to Stephen King's Needful Things? You know what? I remember it's all about like artifacts, right? That's what it was about. It wasn't about Jason specifically. It was about artifacts. Yeah, okay. So looking up here, the general breakdown of what this story is, for those of you guys who don't know. Needful Things is a 1991 horror novel by American author Stephen King. It is the first novel King wrote after his rehabilitation from drugs and alcohol addiction. The story is about a shopkeeper who runs his business by exchanging goods for money and mysterious deeds performed by the customer. So clearly they turned this into a movie that dropped in 1993. And it did not do well. It did not do well. Who was in this movie? Ed Harris, Max von Sydow, and Bonnie Bedelia. Wow. Yeah, wow. Holly McClane herself going up against Max von Sydow, which is cool. They should remake that one. I do think that what was it? The Rick and Morty parody of that was pretty good. That was pretty funny. Let's see. Nate here says, I cut Netflix because of Disney Plus. Also, Netflix content was getting stale. I think a lot of people are going to jump to Disney Plus, but then they might buy in at the $70 for the first year and then realize that the content is really not there. Let's see here. Alex here says, we need another season of the Clerks animated series. Alex, funny thing you say that. When I was at Comic-Con, I actually had the chance to have a conversation with Brian Christopher LaHalloran. And not only did I get a chance to tell him how much of a fan I am of his work, because I am a big fan of his work, that he told me that if Jay and Silent Bob Reboot does well, ABC is interested in rebooting the Clerks animated series. But getting Jeff Anderson on board is going to be crazy. Garrick, the reason why it aired on ABC was because ABC owned by Disney and also owns Miramax. That's why. The Clerks animated series is a great show. The 6 episodes are fantastic. And my friends and I still quote that show to this day because of how beautiful and amazing it is. Remember, guys, I am taking phone calls, 206-734-4312. You guys can call on in, and should be, unless it's not going through. I did change a setting. Let me see here. Calling. All right. I don't have call forwarding turned on. Okay. No. Let me just make sure. Oh, okay. I didn't want that to happen. That's the thing. All right. I don't know what's going. Let's see. Anyway, it's there if anyone wants to call on in. Favorite Beavis and Butthead episode? Oh man, I like the Christmas episode a lot. That was fun. That was a fun one. I like that one quite a bit. I think at this point, I just really like the music videos. Those are always best. Oh, really? The new Rocko's Modern Life drops tomorrow? I didn't know that. I have to watch that and then review it. Is Disney still want to make new Alien movies? If so, are they going to continue from the last Alien movie or make a reboot? They actually said, well, no, they've talked about rebooting these franchises from Fox, and the Alien franchise got absolutely no mention. But they are talking about redoing Planet of the Apes and rebooting Home Alone. So go figure on that one. And then Cheaper by the Dozen. Like, okay. I don't get that one at all. And what are the other ones? Diary of a Wimpy Kid, which I really enjoy the first couple films on that series with the main kid who played Greg. He was really good. I thought he was really funny. I like those movies quite a bit. But I understand why they want to redo it. I get that. I do get that entirely. So, but yeah, Disney is just gonna, I think, milk 20th Century Fox dry. They really, really, really are. So there's a lot there that's gonna be happening, I think. All right. Let's go back to the chat here. Yeah, Night at the Museum, and those movies are pretty good. Those movies are pretty damn good. So I'm surprised that that a lot of people out there aren't, they're not more upset about this. I mean, those three movies did a good job. Ben Stiller did a good job. I don't think they need to be remade, if I'm being honest. They really don't need that at all. But unfortunately, a lot of people, they just want to remake all this shit because it's easier than coming up with new things. So it's just so stupid. So stupid. But yeah, that's here's a question for you guys. What did you think of the Lara Croft Tomb Raider films with Angelina Jolie? How you like that? How you guys like that one? I think it should be pretty. Those are fun movies in my opinion. Those are fun films. Let's see here. Yeah, Robo P, the trilogy of Night in the Museum are good. Why so much original content from Netflix instead of being more like an online video store? I think they just want to fill out the content. Western. Thoughts on The Wolverine? No one seems to talk about it. The Wolverine is great. The fact that The Wolverine opened a few weeks after Man of Steel is, it doesn't get talked about. That movie was great. It was fantastic. So let's see here. What if Disneyland changes the Galaxy's Edge to Alien Land? They're not going to do that. Long Haul, but the thing is, I think Long Haul, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Long Haul was with the new kid. It wasn't with the other kid. So I didn't see that one. You want Netflix to be more of a film history repository? Is that unrealistic? Well, I mean, yes and no. It is because of licensing fees, right? Like it's the licensing fees. If they outright buy something, then they own it. If they license it, they got to keep paying money on it. That's what it really boils down to. You preferred the rebooted Tomb Raider movie. I really enjoyed that last year. I was surprised how much fun I had. Let's see. We need to get a new season of Ozark. I think that's coming. Amit asks, have I seen The Boys? Oh, I have. I have seen The Boys. The Boys is a good show. Really solid show. I was super impressed with it. Would I like to see a Futurama Rick and Morty crossover? Yeah, sure. I just want to see more Futurama. What's going on, Danny the Deer? How you doing? No one seems to talk about Superman Returns. You think it's a good movie? Wish we got a sequel. Here's the thing. A couple years ago, I actually went back and revisited Superman Returns. And when I first saw it in 2006, I didn't care for it. Like so many people, I don't really care for it. Can't really tell you why. Right here, the movie is 13 years old, and you watch it like back in 2006 and you're like, oh yeah, Superman. Something about it just felt off. Didn't really feel right. And then you kind of realize as time goes on that Superman Returns is meant to be Superman, it's Superman 2.5, right? Superman 2.5. So, it was meant to be Richard Donner, and it really is Richard Donner. He did such a good job at that. So there's okay. Let's see here. Okay. Harry Chest here says, I'll tell you what Disney will do with Galaxy's Edge. Episode 9 will introduce time travel. They're not going to introduce time. If they introduce time travel, I think Star Wars is done. I'm just going to be honest. If they introduce time travel, Star Wars is done. It's such a lame gimmick. It worked in Endgame, but like, it's not something you want to overuse. Thoughts on Roland Emmerich films? I enjoy watching Roland Emmerich destroy the world. I will always enjoy watching Roland Emmerich destroy the world, and I would like to see more Armageddon porn. Let's see here. Okay, your Danny here is tired as heck. Was about to put on ASMR. Yeah, dude. I've thought about doing ASMR. Can't ever do it. You wish there was a streaming site for all old black and white movies. I believe YouTube is good for that, to be fair. Let's see here. You're excited that that Andy Muschietti is doing Attack on Titan? That should be pretty good. Thoughts on Brandon Routh being cast in the DCU again? Yeah, I'm down for that. I like. Well, he's been in the Arrowverse for years as Adam, and he's great as Adam. Favorite Futurama episode? Oof. Luck of the Fryish, I think, is my favorite one. Everyone always goes to the dog episode, right? Everyone is always, was it the I Love You? Is it the I Love You 3000 episode? Or something 3000 episode? What's it called? What's that episode called? Jurassic Bark, right? That's the Jurassic Bark. I'll always wait for you, Fry. I'll always wait for you. God damn it, that gets me every time. But Luck of the Fryish is a solid episode because that's the one where he deals with Yancey and how Yancey named his son Fry after his brother who went missing. And that show knows how to absolutely positively tug on your fucking heartstrings. Is Disney getting too big? Yes. Yes, they are. Do I think that Sony wants Venom 2 to say PG-13? Are they going to go R? They're going to go PG-13. They're going to go that. Let's see here. Personally, you think Disney should be disbanded? Good luck. They got the money to keep in power. The Day After Tomorrow is a guilty pleasure. The Day After Tomorrow is a good movie. It's a good movie. Thoughts on Bob's Burgers? I've been an avid fan since 2010. The movie comes out next year. Super excited. I might actually cosplay as Louise to go to that. Not gonna lie, might do it. Do I think Disney will taint Bob's Burgers movie? Nah, it's not good. I don't think they will. Let's see. Galaxy's Edge equals it was fun, but people would rather see 3PO and R2D2. Yep. Event Horizon is a guilty pleasure film. Nate, I like that movie. The TV series they're talking about seems a little bit weird. Not too sure about that TV series, to be fair. Not too sure. No, you didn't hear about that, Roman? They're doing a TV series on Amazon. Have I seen Crawl? I did actually see Crawl a couple weeks ago. Dumb fun movie. It's a dumb fun movie. I liked it for what they did. I think Alexandra Andre did a good job. I like it quite a bit. Hey, anyone want to call in, help me keep my voice from going fucking dead? The number I'm posting in the chat again. Who should play me in a Gamergate movie? I would play me in a Gamergate movie if someone wants to make it. I used to say Kevin Smith, but he's like way skinnier than me now. And I don't think he would use a fat suit. I haven't seen the 2019 remake of Lion King yet. And I never watched Lion King 2 because I don't like a lot of the straight-to-DVD sequels. You hear that Bill Cosby wants a leading role in Shawshank Redemption. Remake. Jesus. He's going to play Red. Which is going to be his ass when everyone's done with it. Blah, blah, blah. All right. Let's see here. RoboP, they're doing an Event Horizon TV series. Who's the best Superman? Cavill in my mind. I know. Everyone's going to be like, but Christopher Reeves, and he's good, but I love Cavill, man. Let's see. DSP as Matt Jarbo. Yeah. That'd be, he could use the money, right? Because he owns like 2 houses and he just got married, and he lives in Washington, has to pay taxes. I don't know what's going on with DSP. I really don't. I wish I did. I have not watched a DSP video in a long time. Oh, we got a call coming in. Unknown person. Anything could happen here. Let's find out. Hello?
Hey, Matt, how you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's your name?
Hey, my name is Armando. I'm in Santa Monica, California.
Ah, what's up, dude? How's Santa Monica tonight? I miss hanging out there.
It's beautiful. I'm by the airport right now, just heading home from the gym, and I saw you were online, and just wanted to call in. And I saw your voice. I heard your voice was starting to break there, so I just want to help you out there.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's just like it's so warm here, and for some reason it's so warm in Washington.
Is that where you are?
Yeah. Yeah.
Washington D.C. or Washington State?
No, fuck DC, man. Who can live in DC at this point? Yeah, no. I live south of Seattle. I'm south of Seattle.
Oh,
But I used to.
Hey, man,
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to congratulate you on the baby. This is number 2 or number 3?
This is number 2, and with any luck, it will only stay number 2. You know, like my girlfriend says, if you give me a third child, I'll move wherever you want. And I'm like,
oh wow.
And I'm all like, can I get that in writing? Because I want to go back to California. And but it's like, but not LA, like San Diego. I think San Diego is a good.
Yeah, San Diego's nice.
Yeah, that's where her and I we met. We both used to live there. And so I love San Diego. I was just there for Comic-Con. I had a lot of fun hanging out in the city again. And it's one of those things where you look back on it and you go, man, I was here for 15 years. And I don't feel like I did enough.
No, it's a beautiful town. I'm actually driving there tomorrow morning. I have to see a client over there. So I'm actually heading there tomorrow.
Nice.
So it's going to be a nice morning drive. Hey, I just wanted to say I'm a big fan. I think you're doing amazing. I follow pretty much every YouTuber out there that does anything having to do with entertainment. Campia, Jeremy, everybody. And you're like the first guy that I click on now. Like,
well, thank you.
You come in, I click on you, and because you're more tempered. Everybody's got sort of like a little bit too much of an edge when they take their hot take. and you come at it from a much more tempered, ahead of your years kind of way of looking at it. I like it. I think you're gonna go far. I think you're gonna get to 1 million plus or whatever.
I would hope so.
Because they're big.
Yeah, I'd like to. Thank you. Well, let me tell you this. It's one of the things is like I used to live in LA. I used to live in North Hollywood, right? Yeah. And so I went to film school in San Diego. I went to LA to like become a writer. In 2010, all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, 27-year-old Matt going to LA. Like I'm gonna go be a writer, because that's how things work, right? And but no, I've done some. I've written some screenplays. I've made some movies. I've worked. I had a job in Van Nuys, where I was, really more like Sherman Oaks, but whatever. And I was working at a flower shop where like all these celebrities would call in. Like their assistants and shit. Like, I mean, I've worked in these little oddballs jobs, and I've never not loved the industry. That's the whole point, is I'm not cynical about it.
Oh, no, it's amazing. I mean, it's funny because I'm a computer scientist. I'm a software engineer, and I've been asked to move up north, Silicon Valley so many times. I will never move there. It's too much of a bubble, and down here it's just more fun. We just have all this crazy studio stuff going on.
Yeah, I think if you live in SoCal, you can't do NorCal, right? Like there's that rivalry between the state,
Yeah. Plus, I hate the Warriors. I wouldn't be able to tolerate the Warrior love. But yeah, so there's a lot of writers hanging around. It's funny how it works here because you never know who's going to make it. Like I've had friends who went from just to give you a story. I used to work. I don't know if you've ever seen The Book of Life.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Animated. So Jorge, he's my friend. He's the guy that made that movie. I met that guy. I used to work at Sony Pictures back in 2001, and he was one of the animators there. And he used to draw those characters in a piece of paper back then. I mean, he used to basically, he was one of the staff, guys there, and up he went, and it's a labor of love. That movie was amazing. He's like one of the, one of the
Yeah.
coolest guys around. He's like legitimately like one of the best people I've ever met. And then he got what's his name? The director, the Mexican director, took him under his wing. The one from
Oh, Guillermo.
big time, Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. It became his protege, and now he's they're trying to figure out what to do with him because he's got all this talent. But the movie kind of got upended by the Disney movie that came out
Yeah.
about the Day of the Dead at the same time, which was directed by a German guy. It was just kind of weird, which is fine. Anybody can direct anything, but you run into that all the time here. I happen just LA stories. Right, my cleaning lady is Bradley Cooper's cleaning lady, and I've had her for 18 years, and I remember when she used to tell me about this depressed guy that used to sit at home with his dog, married to Jennifer Esposito back then, trying to figure out what to do with himself. And that was 2003. So around that time, he has that video with Sean Penn, and where he's like asking him, hey, what do you, how do you act? And then the guy, all of a sudden he goes huge. And
Yeah, well, because he
started.
Because didn't he do like it was a short-lived TV show called like I think Kitchen Confidential.
Yep.
And then he did Wedding Crashers.
Yeah, and then and the thing was, well, he married Jennifer, right? So he was I don't know if you saw her in she was in the Amazon the Boys. She was there with I guess the lover of the main character of The Boys. Jennifer Esposito was there.
Yeah.
And they didn't get along, and then so I've had all these crazy Bradley Cooper stories that I've been like nobody knows about because so I'm gonna throw one at you here tonight that nobody ever knew about this, but it was about 4 years ago. The J-Lo night. The J-Lo came for a night. This was kept completely secret. This was like it was literally like I don't know, like a military operation. The fact that J-Lo was going to spend the night with Bradley, and it was just bizarre the way it was all arranged, and it's just a parade of women that have gone back and forth. But apparently Renee Zellweger was the nicest one of them all, and Zoe Saldana was like not so nice. So. Anyway, but you run into that's what I love here. Like you go somewhere and you like run into like people all the time. I used to run into David Duchovny all the time. Have you seen Californication?
I saw like the first like couple seasons of it. Yeah.
So I actually lived what he lived in the show.
Oh, nice.
So, but the problem was they used to come and shut down the street every so often because he had to come in and film the show. And so it was this crazy thing where he would park his Porsche from the show in an area where you actually cannot park. So it was actually annoying. Like oh God, here comes the company again. Like we can't drive through the street today. But no, it's cool. I wanted to focus on a couple of things. Disney Plus, I'm starting to get a feeling it's not going to go as well as they think it's going to go. And I don't know why I'm getting this vibe, but I actually worked for Disney for a little bit, and I'm very familiar with the way they kind of handle their internal stuff and their internal information. And today, this sudden move to kind of gut Fox and start looking for excuses as to what's going on with them internally. It's like this really bizarre moment where they're doing great. They're making incredible amounts of money with Marvel, but something's not right. Like with Star Wars, and something's not right with just in general. There's just the goodwill is starting to erode, and now Disney Plus is coming out, and it's just. I don't know. I don't know if it's a feeling. What do you think it's gonna just come out and just destroy Netflix? I'm not seeing it. Right
well, not right away. So here's my take on that. So Iger is he's coming. He was supposed to already not be president, right?
Right.
He was just supposed to step down. He expanded out his role until 2021, and so he's basically at this point building his legacy, right? Look, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Iger dropped $71.3 billion for X-Men.
Yep.
He did. He spent that much money for X-Men to give Kevin Feige toys that Feige could set the next fucking 30 years of movies around. And that's precisely why Phase 4 is as low key as it is. It's finishing up contracts, it's building up content for Disney Plus, and it's just like there's nothing really of value there, to kind of set the stage. I mean, I'm sure things are going to set the stage, but everyone wants X-Men, Deadpool, Fantastic Four, next Avengers, new Avengers, right? Young Avengers, whatever. That's what people are interested in. And so Iger is, he put this thing through. I mean, Comcast made him pay out an additional nearly $20 billion just to get his hands on these properties. Fox was not as stable as a film studio as I think that they presented themselves, but they do well on a television front, right? So the operating loss, and again, they're like, oh, the $170 million operating loss this last quarter was all because of Dark Phoenix. Oh, a movie that you intentionally tanked?
Exactly.
Right? Like the thing is, Dark Phoenix is not the best movie on the planet, but I have been very supportive of that film because it was not also the worst movie ever made. And you could tell that they tanked it. It was supposed to be an off-season November release that was not meant to be a big summer tentpole. It was more of a personal film, and I think it would have been received differently had it just come out on Disney Plus. But no, they put it out there 5 weeks after fucking Endgame, 4 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever before Spider-Man, and everyone knew that it was the last one, and so no one cared. And so they just ran it out and they let it tank, and then they go, oh, but now it's Dark Phoenix's fault that Fox fucked up. No, it's not. You tanked it, and then they got all these franchises, but the thing is, they're more mature, right? But they're gonna remake Home Alone because they want to reappeal to that younger audience, dude. Where Home Alone was in '91, where it came out, where an 8-year-old kid. Oh, sorry.
Exactly. Home Alone doesn't work in an area where it doesn't work if you have cell phones. I mean, that's one of the big problems they're going to encounter. Is that they're going to remake it back in the day, or going to remake it for the modern era. That's the other.
No, they're going to do the modern era. It's going to be like, it's going to be stupid.
Because I don't know if you go back. It's funny to go back and watch movies where basically the entire plot line is we don't have cell phones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, known as a cell phone, but there's also that where it's like he legitimately fucked those dudes up, and they're not going to do that. It's not going to be as violent as it was.
Oh no, exactly.
And people are going to be pissed at that because they're going to be like, no, wait a minute here, Kevin McAllister, it's dumb. It's dumb to go back to that franchise. They tried it with Alex D. Linz and Home Alone 3, straight to home video movie with French Stewart and Missy Pyle as the bad guys. And he was a kid who was just homesick, and that's all it was. And it was dumb. And I know it was dumb because I have younger siblings and I watched it. But yeah, Iger is going to, I think, really screw things up. To the point of where, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know.
There was an interview this week. I don't know if you've ever listened to Bill Simmons, but Bill Simmons had Kara Swisher there, and she's the lady that interviews all the big time Silicon Valley people, and the Valley up there, they're really betting on the algorithm. So they're thinking, okay, Netflix has got the data and the algorithm. And I know a couple engineers that work on it, that swear by it. And Disney doesn't really have that. They bought this company called BAMTech that had all the streaming, kind of technology of it, but they didn't have the quote unquote algorithm. And so this idea that they're going to come out, with such thin set of new content, and then essentially not really an algorithm, and uproot Netflix. It's just there's something flawed about it. But Netflix is really taking it up the with their stock, because there's a lot of fear going on right now. But I think they got to regroup, and it's going to become a real battle, because at the end of the day, I'm telling you, just having worked at Disney Imagineering, I worked at Imagineering before, which is a whole different situation. But there's just something missing in the culture about that has to do with innovation when it comes to technology. I mean, they're great at producing content, but as far as services goes, and seeing them come up with something that beats Netflix one-on-one, it's just hard to see that. Right?
Yeah, I think that Netflix is going to hold the top spot for a while, but if it doesn't rein it back in and start focusing on quality over quantity, then it's going to run into a problem. But Netflix on the topic of anime is killing it, right?
Yep.
And that is going to hold a lot of people, because let's be fair, weebs spend money. And, and I've gone to I used to live in San Diego. I just went to my 19th Comic-Con. Trust me, weebs spend money, and they're focusing on a lot of that. They're going to be that's going to be the next thing, because they're trying to break into the Middle Kingdom. Everyone wants to crack into the Middle Kingdom. No one cares. They know that they make more money domestically, but if they can crack into the Middle Kingdom, they're going to make a lot more cash. So it's one of those things where it's like both services are going to have their work cut out for them. I do think that one of the things that we need to do is watch to see whether or not Netflix just starts moving away from American-based content. And that's going to be a real big kicker, I think, because they want India, so they're going to try to go after Bollywood. And they want, Asia, so they're going to go after anime. And they're not really focusing on a lot of things here that are going to be getting the American psyche up. Stranger Things does really well. But that's only going to be around for maybe another season, 2 at the max. And they don't have a Game of Thrones. They just dropped $200 million to get DB Weiss and David Benioff.
To do what?
To write and create shows for Netflix. And they're still going to be
writing.
But we don't
know yet. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to be genre shows like Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is though, with Amazon getting Lord of the Rings, that's going to be a wild fucking thing.
No, that's going to be amazing. I mean, I don't know if you ever read the Silmarillion, but there's so many stories. I don't think it's even covering that, but there's so many stories that haven't yet been covered by the movies. It's just insane the amount of stuff that's out there, and there's also, like with Game of Thrones, I did this deep dive into all the dragons that ever existed, which is like 60 or something. It is just crazy how much more stuff there's out there too for them to do, but do it right, not what they did with this last season.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that when it comes to the Game of Thrones, or when it comes to adapting Lord of the Rings, sorry, what we're going to see is quite a bit of we're going to see, what's the word I want to use here? Well, it's a prequel show about Aragorn, and
right,
so
right. You may get young Aragorn, actually.
Yeah. So I mean, they're probably going to tie a lot of things from like doesn't this one take place in like the Third Age? Or the Second Age?
Yeah, it's the Second Age. It's the Second Age. I'm pretty sure this is the Second. Which is there's a lot of stuff in there it's actually not that different from historically from where the Game of Thrones prequels are going to be in that sort of Age of Heroes thing, with Bran the Builder and all that. So there's going to be a little bit of a parallel there that's going to be really interesting. Both being prequels and kind of. But yeah, the young Aragorn, I don't know if they've cast it yet. That would be an interesting cast.
They have one cast member, and it's not a main cast member, which is like no one cares. Pretty much, it's like oh, we have a cast member, but it's not Aragorn, or we haven't cast an Elrond, because Elrond and Gandalf are going to make an appearance in this one. If they don't get fucking Ian McKellen to play Gandalf and fucking Hugo Weaving to play Elrond, I think people are going to be pissed. But who knows if they're going to want to tie it into the Jackson? Because here's my prediction for that is they're going to do 5 seasons of this show that are going to lead in from, I think, they're going to lead into the beginning of maybe The Hobbit, if not, Fellowship. And then they're going to tell Fellowship as 2 seasons or 1 season of Fellowship, and then 2 Towers, and then Return of the King. And they're going to do a full-on adaptation of that. Because that to me seems like the right course of action. And you know what they're going to counter that with? This is again my prediction. Warner Brothers, when HBO Max gets going, or when they really want to make a heavy push for it, they are going to announce a full-on readaptation of the Harry Potter books. That they're going to cast a new Harry Potter, and it's going to be, each season is going to be a book. And they're going to go through all 7 books and make 7 seasons of this show. Because by the time they get ready to do it, it will be like at least 2021, which will then be 20 years past the release of the first Harry Potter movie. And that just makes sense to do it a TV show at that point.
Absolutely. And I heard that their live or their Universal Studios Harry Potter stuff is doing really well.
Oh, dude, it's insanely huge. It's so popular. Any one of those videos people drop about Harry Potter does super well on YouTube. Real popular stuff.
And they got that augmented reality app and all kinds of stuff coming out. So
yeah, I mean Disney has that with their Disney Play app or something. And I tried taking a look at that when I was there. It was complicated. This is complicated. And I'm like, whatever, man. I'm just a fucking boomer. Maybe that's where I am.
No, AR. I've done AR apps. It's just too soon. We need the glasses, and they haven't come yet. It's really weird on the phone right now. I have a friend. They're gonna start doing AR content. So one of the here's a question for you. Like one of the potential breakthroughs in the next couple of years could be a fairly large vertical video, and this is where Snapchat could come in, because you could have short form content, vertical video experiments that are going on where you get a season made up of episodes that are 20 minutes each or 5 minutes each that are sort of like for people that don't have an attention span longer than that, done on a vertical screen. And there's people already experimenting on that and doing like AR versions of those things as well, just trying to figure out what the next thing will be.
We're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, with the success of Pokemon Go and now they got the Wizarding World one, I think we're gonna start seeing a lot of AR stuff that's gonna probably do pretty well. But again, people just have to get into it, and they have to make it really engaging, really interesting, and then not be full of microtransactions, which of course is not going to be the case for these products. But hey man, I'm going to let you go so I can try to get anyone else. I'm going to try to wrap up in about 15-20 minutes.
Hey man, it's been a pleasure. Congratulations again, and I'll keep listening to you and just keep going, man. You're doing amazing. I think you're going to be, big deal. So just remember us little people when you're up there.
Oh man, nah, I hang out with Nerd Report all the time, so I remember the little guy really easy because he's tiny. He's super tiny. Thanks a lot, man. Have a great day.
Take it easy. Peace. Have a good night. Peace.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that call. That was a great call. A lot of good conversation. This is why I love talking to the people about Hollywood, because there's so many varied opinions and varied ideas and varied things that can happen. And so, but yeah, I'm gonna probably wrap it up at about 15-20 minutes. Because it is late. I wasn't intending on being on this late, but I'm having fun. So if you guys want to call in, the number is going to be popping up here in the chat. You guys can call 206-734-4312. And again, doing this kind of stuff, I think is going to be a lot of fun. Doing more of these call-ins. I know there's not a lot to see on the screen that's visually appealing right now. I'll have to work on that, perhaps. Get the chat up on there or something you guys can more look at. And then I'm going to get the logo here redone. I like the logo. I'm going to go back to the original artist and have her redo it. This was an adaptation of her original design. and I'm gonna have the original artist go back and redo it. Let's see. HBO and Warner's should adapt the Anne Rice Vampire Chronicles. If I recall, there was a bit of news about that was coming. That they was doing something with that one. If I recall correctly. Let's see here. Film adaptations. In August 2014, Universal Pictures and Imagine acquired the rights to the Vampire Chronicles with the producers Alex Kurtzman and Roberto Orsi. So that's dead. In May 2016, writer-director Josh Boone posted a photo on Instagram of the cover of a script written by him and Jill Killington. Oh, we got a call coming in. 1 second. Hello, you're on the air. What's going on?
Hey, Matt, what's up, man? I was just calling to see if you wanted to stop in on Friday for a little Boulderversary action.
No, I think I'm okay. I think I'm pretty good. Got
sure?
got a lot. Yeah. Not much more
fun,
really
man.
talk. Nah, not really. I'm
Come
fine.
on, man. Let's have some fun on Friday. Come on.
No, I think I've had all the fun I'm ever gonna have with you. So I'm good.
Come on, man. Don't have hard feelings about it. Come on, let's bury the hatchet.
Oh, I don't have hard feelings about what happened, Ralph. That was my own fuck up. So I don't have hard feelings about that.
Well, come on, man. Let's just have some fun. It's summer. Let's let it all hang out, dude.
No, I think I'm gonna pass. I think I'm good. I'm doing my own thing over here. I think you do your thing. It's all good either way. You know, I don't really care to dive back into that shit.
Well, you can kind of put it behind you, though. You know, I know you still get some mean comments and stuff. If you came on and had a few laughs, you know, I think a lot of people would like to see it.
I've put it behind me at this point. So other people tend to bring it up because for whatever reason, but I've moved the hell on.
Well, I think it could be good for you, man.
Well, you know, here's the way I see it.
Think about it. At least think about it. But go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
There's not really much to think about here, Ralph. There's really not. You see, because what happened. It's been a year. I'm a different person. I have a new daughter. I just want to focus on doing my shit, having a good time, and that's really about it. And other people out there want to bring up old shit for no other reason than to just bring up old shit. So I'm actually pretty solid on this one. I don't really have a need to jump on.
All right, man. Well, they can't say I didn't try. You know, I had to
no,
give it the
they
old
can't
college
say
effort,
no.
So
You gave it the college try, and that is entirely fine. So it's all good.
All right, man. Well, you have a good one. Oh wait, I did want to ask you something.
Sure.
I saw a tweet from you the other day where you were talking about banning triggers. What was that all about?
I was more or less just asking people's particular opinion on it. That's all it really was like, I was kind of curious because how people view the Second Amendment, whether or not the right to bear arms is the full gun, or if anyone can argue that it's like the full entity of a firearm or like a certain piece or part. So if they determine that a full gun is an arm, and again, I don't know all this shit. I'm more or less spitballing on Twitter. And so then it's like, could the government just ban triggers? I'm not advocating for it. I don't think it's ever going to happen, but it's one of those just kind of like thought experiments, you know, or just.
So it wasn't a joke though. You were actually just thinking about it. I saw it, and I thought
no,
people
I'm not
were misrepresenting you. I mean, obviously you can't ban triggers, but yeah, go ahead.
Of course not. No, it's more like, is it when you have a gun, there's so many pieces and parts that go into it. So if they want to like outlaw something, could they just find a way to outlaw a piece of the gun that doesn't just remove the aspect of it being a firearm? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's just a question. That's all it was. And people took it and they ran with it in different ways Twitter tends to fucking do on everything.
Yeah, so. Well, I know how that goes. But look, man, I think you should think about it, though. I know we have each other. Well, you blocked me first, to be fair. But we have each other blocked on Twitter. But I think you should think about it, man. It could be a fun time.
I'll think about it. Fine.
Just think about it. I mean, just give it some thought. I think it could be fun. And it would be a way to just, kind of close the chapter all the way. I know you said it's closed already, but I know you still get a lot of shit, but I think if you came on and had some laughs, we won't be too mean about it. And, just sit back, relax, have a few laughs, and then kind of just close the book. I don't see a point doing a Boulderversary year 2. So if we could just, kind of close it, just have everybody there, or as many people as we can get. I think it would be fun.
Well, it would be like me walking into a place that would be nothing but an hour or so of getting absolutely shit on. So, laughing it off
I'm
one
sure
way. That's all it would boil down to. That's all it would boil down to.
Look, it wouldn't be shit. Look, I'm sure there would be a couple jokes or whatever, but I'm not looking to, put your face in the dirt or whatever. Beat you over the head with to make it. See, that's the kind of joke. Like I was going to say, I'm not looking to beat you over the head with a boulder. I mean, stuff like that. That's not. Come on, there would be a couple jokes, but it would be fun.
Well, at this point, I don't know. People have many different beliefs over what happened that are wildly exaggerated in some cases that have been very interesting to watch unfold over the last year, and still frequently get brought up, which is very interesting. But I'll tell you, I'll give it a thought, but I can't promise anything because I am pretty busy. So
yeah, give it a thought, and if you have an email, of course we can't converse on Twitter, but I don't know if you have an email. I'll look around, see if I can find your email.
No, it's the mundanemad@gmail.com is the one I use. So
okay, all right. Well, I'll shoot you an email. Just think about it, man. I don't think it'd be a bad thing. It would be kind of a way to just bury the hatchets and just put it all to bed. Anyway, I just figured I'd reach out, man. You have a good one. Good luck with your daughter, and I think you got 2 kids now, right?
Yeah, I have 2 kids. Yeah.
Well, good luck, man, and I'll reach back out on email. Just give it a thought.
All right, I will.
All right, man. Peace out.
All right, have a good one. All right, let's see. Back to the conversation here. All right, so Brent here says, I want to see Lord of the Rings First Age trilogy that gets into the Rise of the Dark Lord. I thought that was what they were working on. I thought that was one of the things they were working on. Was getting in on that. So let's see. All right. Okay. Yeah, next caller. Anyone wants to go? Like the numbers right there. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up with some stuff here. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings show I think is gonna be fun. I think Bezos is dropping the $1 billion on it because he wants it to be Lord of the Rings. I mean, they're not only doing that, they're doing the Wheel of Time series, which is a very fantastic book series. And they are doing the Dark Tower series right now. They're shooting that one because the movie was pretty bad. Well, if you don't look at the movie as being as what's it called? As an adaptation of the Dark Tower, but you look at it as just kind of being a standalone interpretation of the Dark Tower, it's not bad. I think Idris Elba was badass as a gunslinger, though. And McConaughey was great, too. So, all right, guys, if anyone here has got any last call-ins or whatever, last questions, that'd be great. I'm probably going to be on about maybe another 10 minutes or so. I am pretty tired. I'm going to get the baby up to feed her before I can get to go to bed. So let me know, and you get a call on in on that one. The number is in the video description. Where is it? I find my damn window again. The Dark Tower was all right. Here's the thing is I never read the book Siege, so I went in and saw the movie, and I enjoyed the movie. It was not the best thing on the planet. I know a lot of hardcore King fans, a lot of hardcore Dark Tower fans were not happy with it. I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed it for what it was. But I'm a pretty easily entertained guy on that front, and a lot of people don't quite get that about me. They think that when I do this kind of stuff, that they go, oh, you just like everything. Like, well, when you spend how many years? I was like over 10 years working for theaters. You watch a lot of bad films. And when you watch a lot of bad movies, you kind of get an appreciation for them because I've also made films. I've worked on them multiple capacities. So the way I approach it is always from like the people put effort into this. So let me try to find what I feel their best intention is. And sometimes you can't do that, or sometimes I just do not like the story or certain aspects, and that's a big part of it. Wait, are they doing a Stand By Me 4K release? I don't know if you could. I mean, try. That's okay. Like, do you really need a 4K re-release of a 1982? Was that movie? What was Stand By Me? That was 82, wasn't it? I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Stand By Me. I think it's one of the better films, better adaptations of Stephen King. I also really enjoy. Oh wow, shit! August 20. Okay, it's 86. Okay, and it's coming out August 27th. Wow. You know, but then again, Rob Reiner was a fantastic director on that film, and everyone was great in it. So I definitely want to watch it again. So there's that. Let's see. When did I know Sheila was a spirit taking the form of a spider? I don't know, Brent. I think I learned that when I played Shadow of War. To be honest with you, I think that's when I learned that. So that's when I was figuring that shit out. Let's see here. Will the OG Star Wars trilogy on Disney Plus be in 4K? No, it won't be. They're not going to do. I don't believe Disney Plus is going to do 4K for a while. You know, they might do UHD, HDR, right? Like they're just going to like throw out those particular formats and shit. So, but I do think they are going to do are they doing the OG trilogy on Disney Plus? Is that what they're doing first? Or is it going to be the special editions? I was busy last week, so I missed that specific announcement. Let's see here. Take a look at my RSS feed for Star Wars. There's gotta be, hold on. Oh, there's an article here. How Star Wars brought the Porgs to life. Oh, fuck the Porgs. Who cares? All right. Okay. Let me take a look here. If I can find this. Okay. Okay. CNET has an article here about that. Showing us. Jesus Christ. Okay. Day one original shows, day one. Okay, so they are doing when are they doing what's it called? Clone Wars season 7 or season 6. Is that coming? Oh, it's coming in year 1. Okay. That's gonna be pretty dope. I'm looking forward to that one. Okay, let me just find here. All right. Okay, from day one, Disney Plus will include all Star Wars movies from the first 2 trilogies, as well as Force Awakens and Rogue One. And so I guess it's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be the special edition or not, because TBS has the rights to Star Wars. And let's see, but do they have? But is it the special edition or the OG? Because if it's special, that could be the defining characteristic here that gets it on. That could have been what they argued, that they're 2 different things. No, well they paid $275 million for the 6 Star Wars films released between 1977 and 2005. Okay, so yeah, I guess it doesn't matter, but I don't know. We'll have to find that out. That's a question I believe I would ask at D23 if I was going to go to D23. That's a good one. Okay, so it's OG Trilogy, Special Edition. That's what I thought. My favorite Battlefield game is Bad Company 2. Actually, I love Bad Company 2. Robo P, I completely agree with you that the OG unedited trilogy comes out on something that'd be pretty great. There's going to be, let's see, Keanu Reeves in Star Wars, please. I'm sure it's going to happen. Everyone wants him to play Revan. I don't know, man. I don't know. Not against it. I would love to see him as a Jedi. But then again, he also did 47 Ronin, which is kind of similar to that. So let's see. You may want to find a VCR for the OG unedited Star Wars. Yeah. Well, I mean, you could find them. They have the despecialized editions. Let's see here. Yeah, Matthew. Well, it's not a Skype call in. You can call. There's a number I'm posting it right now. There you go. If you want to call in. If you want to give that a holler. Roman here says Stand By Me is my favorite King adaptation. It's a good one, man. It's a really solid one. I really like that shit. You gotta love it. There's a lot of good, adaptations of Stephen King's work that are like passable. Like for me personally, as much as I'm excited for the next It Chapter 2, I still really like the 90 miniseries. A lot of people don't like it. I think it's pretty great. And but for probably all the wrong reasons, I guess. So there's that. Let's see. Okay. Where's that at? I thought I moved that to the end there. Have I played 1943? I did play 1943. Yeah. I had it on the Xbox 360. It was fun. All right. Got a call coming in. Hey, how's it going?
Xbox 360. It was fun. was fun.
Oh, we got some feedback.
All right. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's doing all right.
All right, man. That's good to hear. Although I think there might be some feedback on your end.
Working on it.
Okay. And I have apparently another call coming in too. For some reason, it doesn't let me. It doesn't let me put calls on hold. I have to decline that one for right now. So there we go. That's what screwed me up. So what's on your mind?
Yeah, wow, I can hear the echo.
Yeah, if you turn your speaker down, it should be fine.
Yep, I got it. First
Cool.
time calling in. That's why I got the technical difficulties.
That's okay, man. I don't really do a lot of live call-ins, but I figured, fuck it. It's the middle of the night. Who gives a shit? It's been fun. I enjoy just
Sure.
BS about movies. It's just it's a nice way to end the day.
Well, and I've had probably one question on my mind for a little bit thinking about movies. I like to basically project multiple years in advance as soon as the project's announced. Okay, how's that going to play out years in advance? And so with the streaming wars, the big question is who has the best content penultimately? And so of your opinion, what would that be? Obviously, Disney's a big deal. Warner Media is a big deal. I would probably put it more towards Warner.
Oh yeah, no.
Warner.
Out of all three, Warner right now is my top, and that has a lot to do with they have a seriously heavy amount of content, and it's not just movies; it's TV shows as well. And there's so many. What people don't realize, and I'm sure you know this, but anyone listening who may not realize, television studios like Fox, ABC, NBC, when they get shows, those shows aren't always internal. I believe, like, let's say
Right.
CBS Big Bang Theory is a Warner Brothers show. A lot of people
Right.
don't know that. Breaking Bad is a Sony show. Mad Max, yeah.
House MD, for example, I always recalled was a Fox show, but it was a Universal Studios show as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of like the show Last Man Standing, that Tim Allen show. That comedy was it was on ABC, but it was produced through 20th Century Fox. So when ABC canceled it because it was going to be too expensive, and then 20th Century Fox brought it back, now it's actually owned by ABC and Disney. So I wouldn't be surprised if they canceled it, to be fair.
That would be a double dip, I suppose. I mean, that's reputation-wise, that's not great, but they can do it and they'll spin it and it'll be fine, I'm sure. And Tim Allen will go on to do something else.
Well, then again, Toy Story 4, actually, how much has that even made so far? I have no idea.
Well over 400 million now.
Toy Story 4, yeah, I'm sure it has. I haven't seen it yet. I've just been the baby on the way, and then I went out of town for a few weeks. So right now it has a worldwide total of 963 million. So I'm pretty sure it's going to crack 1 billion. Not worried about that at all. So I mean, yeah, I think it would be very interesting to see, like what happens when HBO Max becomes a thing. Because they've got the Dune. They announced the Sisters of Dune series to coincide with the movie. They're doing a couple other shows that are going to be specific to that. As I talked to the last guy who called in, not the last guy before that, I do think that they're going to announce a full-on adaptation of Harry Potter books, and I think they're going to keep I mean, the thing is, network television is dying. When the boomers die, it's dead.
Streaming will be the future of TV.
Exactly. And we're in this golden age right now. There's a lot of great shows, a lot of great content. There's a lot of crap too. And it's cheap crap that makes a lot of money, like reality TV is like that. So that becomes an issue.
Right. It's just content fodder, not necessarily there to really drive in the revenue.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, was it Astro Josh here also pointed out the Gremlins animated series coming for HBO Max? That should be pretty fantastic.
I mean, as far as adult animated shows are concerned, actually, that's got a lot of potential. But if they do pitch it more towards kids, like the real Ghostbusters back in the day, I don't know. That could be a toss-up.
I'm gonna be surprised if they're able to, bring about a real resurgence of adult animation. I think Netflix has that locked down right now with like Big Mouth and F is for Family, as well as
Disenchanted.
Disenchantment. It's not really adult, but it's definitely good. Who's
PG-13 and above.
Yeah, it's funny. I do like Disenchantment a lot. Actually, when I was at Comic-Con, I came across it wasn't it was like the Bongo Comics or Boingo Comics booth that it's like Matt Groening's imprint. And I see that they had, Disenchantment season 2 posters. And I look at my brother and I'm like, man, I really wonder when Disenchantment season 2 is coming, because they haven't done any announcement for it. And it's been a year as of this month.
It was a mixed reception though, wasn't it?
It was a mixed reception, but Netflix renewed it for 3 more seasons. Like right off the bat.
Was that before the season? Yeah, the first season hadn't premiered yet, right?
It was right after the first season premiered, but the new season comes out on November 30th. Disenchantment season 2 release. Let me see here. It will be. Okay. Hold on. For some reason, it's not giving me the information. And yet, I didn't see him talking about this. Okay, so the second half of the season is going to be. It doesn't say. It just says this September. That was from back in October, but no, I'm pretty sure at Comic-Con they had November. I'm pretty sure they had it as November at Comic-Con.
And of course, not to go too far down that rabbit hole, essentially Netflix, while they do have the adult animated series, at least at the moment, they seem to be leading the charge. But I mean, it's not that much of a lead. But regardless, overall, the Netflix original content is actually kind of bad. Like, if we're not just looking at the adult animation, but we're looking at pretty much everything else, it's been very difficult for Netflix to get any buzz regarding their new shows in general. So I would say, compared to the other streaming services, Netflix is actually at momentarily a disadvantage if they don't pick up the slack in at least the next couple of years.
Well, I would argue that, the biggest issue with Netflix right now is that they don't market it themselves amongst their audience. They want word of mouth to pick up, and word of mouth will work for a certain amount of shows. But, but the thing is, you'd be amazed at how many shows they have that are extremely popular, right? Not just in like maybe genre entertainment. So there's a show called You. It's a stalker show. It's like a dude who like he started stalking this chick on Tinder or something like that, learned everything he could to learn about her in order to make her fall in love with him, but he's like, lying his ass off. And the show was originally, I think, sold to Lifetime, and Lifetime passed on it. So then Netflix picked it up and it became this massive thing. There's it did. There's The Bodyguard, which is a British show that apparently, like, its first season is fucking phenomenal, and they got it on Netflix. It's huge on Netflix. So, I mean, the thing is, there's 100 million plus people just domestically in the United States that use Netflix, and not everyone talks, which is the interesting thing. It's like, you figure that a lot of these people would talk to one another, but they don't. And so Netflix is at a point now where if they're not getting the subscribers, then they're going to start canceling these shows, but they're also not doing enough to promote it to new people. And that becomes a bigger problem.
The solution, I think, would be trying to hybrid Netflix with a social media service a little bit like what YouTube did recently by pushing messages, which would be an extremely easy way to share a video. Much in the same way, you finish streaming a Netflix video, you look at your group of friends or whatever on the side. Hey, who can I recommend this to? I know this person likes shows like this, for example.
Yeah,
At
that would
least
be good
that's
too.
what my pitch would have been. But otherwise, you're right. People tend to just stream their shows and then go straight to bed and then not talk about it the next day because they're already on to the next show.
The other thing too, that is the reality here, is and I do need to do a standalone video on this, but the lack of water cooler content. And what I mean by that is, you look at, like, okay, I'll just use Game of Thrones as an example. Season 8, right? Love it, hate it. People were talking about it all the time. They were talking about it.
I liked it enough.
I liked it. I liked it a lot myself. I thought it had a good finale. I really liked. Anyway, I could go off for a long time about that, but
I know that's an unpopular opinion. Let's not start.
it's a very unpopular opinion. People are like, "What's your hottest movie take?" And I'm like, "Season 8 was good." But anyway, so what you have here is a situation where everyone's talking about Game of Thrones week to week to week to week to week, and it's just ramping and ramping and ramping the fuck up. And that's good because people keep talking about it and it keeps getting more people interested, and then more people potentially come to it. Then you take, for example, Stranger Things season 3, which dropped 4th of July. And over the course of that weekend, people barreled their way through 8 episodes. They loved watching the show. They absolutely loved, talking about it for about 5 days. Because after that 8 episodes, people went through the 8 episodes. What more are they going to talk about? They don't know when the next season is going to come out. Is it going to be a year? Is it going to be 2 years? Because it's been 2 years since the last season came out. So is it going to be that? Is it going to be, but so they don't have enough to talk about. And Netflix is kind of killing itself by giving into binge culture.
In fact, part of the problem, I go to other websites, publications to find out what's on Netflix. And I know Netflix has their own little what's on Netflix thing, but they could pass that information along themselves. If people are, for example, curious about one specific show, just on that show's tab down at the bottom, here's when the next season's coming, or the director is rumored that they're going to start shooting this fall. Netflix literally could do that themselves. They've done very well keeping the website clean and polished, but they could add a few widgets in there that would actually improve the functionality.
Yeah. There's a lot there that they could do.
Self-promotion. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I think reaching out to people who do movie-based content on YouTube is probably going to be a good way to go about it. They give it to some people early, but not everybody. And I think if they open it up a bit more, they would be able to get a much better, like return on investment. I think if they can get people who are super fans of this stuff to talk more about it. Like the Orville, but I just want to use this as an example. I think the Orville is doing a great job of that.
It seems to be. In fact, I haven't even watched an episode, but it does have a fervent fan base.
Oh, no, I went to the Orville experience at Comic-Con, and like the fact that like Seth MacFarlane like last minute created this pop-up that had a bunch of stuff there, and a lot of people went, a lot of fans were there, a lot of Orville costumes, and the fact that the YouTube community very much supports Orville and keeps it alive. And that's one of the reasons why they moved it from Fox to Hulu, because that is a big, that's where the vast majority of the audience is. In fact, I was actually at the Dark Horse booth because they released an Orville comic, and I went to go buy a couple copies of the comic book. And I came across a girl there who saw me putting it away, and she's like, oh my God, the Orville comic. And I'm like, yeah, we talked about the show for a minute. And I'm like, well, they're moving to Hulu, right? And she's like, I did not know that. And now I have to go get a Hulu subscription, right? And so she's like, but the thing is, now that Hulu is going to be tied to Disney Plus and ESPN Plus for $13 a month, even though it's Hulu with limited ads, that's going to be one of those things where a lot of people are going to really, dive over to that. And I think if they promote the Orville enough within that, and they start really kind of working, like bringing out YouTubers or content creators that are big fans, out for like set visits and maybe exclusive interviews and really have the PR companies work with that. Because when Orville first came out, all the bloggers, all the fucking reviewers were just like, oh no, the show is terrible. It's terrible, Gerald. It's just terrible. But the fans are like, what are you fucking smoking, you troglodytic cunts? Like, the show was good. But the thing's because it's Seth MacFarlane. But then season 2 rolls around, and then now you got new fans, and these reviewers are like, oh no, the season's a lot better. And it's like, season 1 was great, season 2 was better, but season 1 was great too. So I mean, they got to embrace the fans, and I think we've learned over the years that is supposed to be where things are at. But nowadays, social media, they think they can create a meme, and that's going to be what's going to ride them to success.
Yeah. I mean, it's you could make an argument for creative overkill where they're just so under pressure instantly. They're asking all the wrong questions when really all you need to do is put a basic product up there on the screen and let the audience engage with it. And that's all. That's it. It's as simple as that. Just tell your story, put it up, and you're good. But I think over time, people have just stressed out over the nitpicks and the details. And I think critics just haven't yet realized there's been a generational shift. There's a whole generation of kids coming up that still need the basic programming, that don't want the commentary upon the commentary of 2 generations ago TV shows. No, we're talking about, we still just want our general basic show to watch. So anyways, that's my pitch on critics. Just in general, I think they're still looking for the film school technicalities when the audience is just looking for something to enjoy.
Yeah, I think if you treat the audience with respect and you give them essentially what they want, and you don't talk down to them. I think that's the big part of it. I think if you don't talk down to them and you go, this is what we're about, they respond. And I think a lot of people out there these days are just too afraid of that, of not doing that. They want to, it's all, I think the best way to describe it is all this shit is created by committee. All of these Marvel shows, Marvel movies are created by a committee. Star Wars movies are created by a committee. And it feels like there's a personal thing that's not there. Like The Boys on Amazon, it feels like a more personal show because it's like the anti-superhero show, but it's all about superheroes, and it's handled with a lot of care. A lot of people really like it. So there's all that. And there's, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens, but I really do feel at the end of the day, the better shows are gonna survive, and I hope Netflix starts kind of really reining it in a little bit. But I think on that note, I'm gonna let you go, dude, because my voice is starting to go, and I'm getting pretty tired. So
it's all good, man. I've appreciated the chat, and as far as I'm concerned, you answered my question plenty fine. I think it's for the media, and you're about there too with some eyes on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I'm going to get Disney Plus because I'm not going to miss out on The Mandalorian, like, at all. I could pirate it. Sure. I could pirate it. That's not going to, I will be perfectly honest, perfectly blunt. I could go to the high seas of the internet and find it. But this is a show that, from what I've seen, looks stellar, and I want to support it because I want there to be more things like this, because I feel that when it comes to taking a chance, The Mandalorian is that chance.
Sure. I personally am on the anti-Disney train, so I'm not going to buy into Disney Plus, and so I'll probably allegedly be on the Boycott Mandalorian site somewhere in the next coming year. Anyway, Disney Plus, for me, I know the content's great. I grew up on it too, but I've got to personally let that go. Besides, there's plenty else for me or anybody else to watch. Picking any of the other sites, it's no loss on my part, I'm sure.
Sure. I totally understand that. Well, all right, man. Thank you so much for calling in. Call in again. I'm going to do these definitely a lot more frequently.
Good chat, man. Respect.
Right,
and love the videos. Keep putting them out.
Thank you very much. Have a good night. All right, guys. We've been on for a little over 2 hours. I really only sat down to do an hour at most, but I wanted to do the live call in, despite the brief interruption, which is fine. That's perfectly fine. I think the 30 of you, the 30 between 30 and 40 of you that have watched tonight, I really appreciate it. And we'll be doing more of these as time goes on. Again, I'll be on night duty when it comes to my kid here. So I'll have to be up anyway. And I appreciate everyone watching. If you want, toss a like. It's fine if you do, fine if you don't. And have yourself a great day. If you want to join up with the Discord, I believe there's a link in the video description. I don't know if it still is a valid link, but it might be. Yeah, I will talk to everyone later. Have yourself a great night, guys, and peace out.